Richie Ruckus beat.
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy, Richie Ruckus. We are back here today. It is Saturday, August 3rd. The summer is flying by and I myself am at a crossroads, at a bittersweet moment. I prefer the fall weather over any other season. I am all about, bummy swag. I'm all about wearing hoodies and, I'm not a big t-shirt short kind of guy. A lot of it has to do with, if I'm being candid, self-esteem issues. I'm very short. I feel like, shorts amplify how short I am and stuff like that, but that's neither here nor there. I do particularly love sitting on the beach, catching a nice day load. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but your boy is glistening right now. My bronze tan is, one for the books. That being said, we got a brand new sneaker pickup. We are going to jump into this right away. I'm going to hit you with that unboxing, that review, and we're going to get into an on foot. It is a beautiful day here in Philadelphia, scorching hot. It is on a scale of from polar ice cap to sitting on the sun. We are approaching the surface of the sun here. It is blazing hot, but we're going to go out into these elements. We're going to do the on foot out in these streets. I'm hoping to get some dope shots and a dope on foot for you guys. Before we jump into the sneaker unboxing, it is a brand new sneaker pickup from the good folks over at Lapstone Hammer here in Philadelphia. But I didn't just pick up a pair of sneakers. I also picked up a brand new Lapstone Hammer t-shirt. It has their Philly Unite snake type logo throughout a Lapstone and Hammer that is the font is in a rainbow type. So we're going to probably try to get a picture. I'm going to try to get a picture of this on me for you guys. If not, it'll definitely be on my Instagram in the next coming days. I'm fairly sure these are sold out online. There might still be a few pieces in store, but as always, the link will be down in the description if you guys are feeling the Lapstone and Hammer Philly Unite shirt. Now that that's out of the way, you know why you're here. Let's get a glimpse of these warlocks. We have the Adidas Ozweego in the solar green, neon green colorway. And when images first leaked of the Ozweego, I was definitely a fan of the silhouette. And I know the term Ozweego actually, when people hear the term Ozweego, they think of the Adidas Raf Simons collaboration. But this has no affiliation to the Adidas Raf Simons Ozweego. This is a totally different sneaker. I believe it is supposed to be like futuristic. I think Adidas did a very good job with the overall construction and build of the sneaker. For the Boost boys out there, no boost in the sole. Let's get that right out of the way. It has that famed Adidas print, Adi print, however you want to pronounce it. It is a predominantly mesh upper with hints of leather and other synthetic materials. You have some neoprene on the back. You have a very, very dope, nicely done leather tongue. You have that clear piping that we have seen on the Adidas Lexicon. And I actually have a pair of Lexicons right here because I think these similarities are uncanny. So we have Adidas Lexicon. We have the Adidas Ozweego. Very, very similar in the overall aesthetics of the sneaker. The materials used. The Lexicon looks like it might be more of a breathable mesh, where this is more of a constricted, tightly knitted mesh. But the similarities are there. They both have predominantly mesh uppers. The Lexicon's more of a one-piece slip-on Ultra Boost type upper, where the Ozweego actually has the detached movable tongue. The Ozweego on surface, just looking at it, it actually really reminds me of an Alexander Wang Adidas collab. But it obviously, I'm sure, with both being under the same umbrella of Adidas, I'm sure, materials and designs, we've seen it with Yeezys. Inspiration comes from all different past catalog, future catalog. So Adidas definitely shares the wealth when it comes to the aesthetics and build of a sneaker. I myself don't have a problem with the Diaprint. I think it's very, very comfortable. I know a lot of people out there are only rocking with Adidas because of Boost and really didn't mess with Adidas before Boost. I don't fall under that category. As you guys know, I rock a ton of Adidas that do not contain Boost. As for instance, right now, I have on the Yeezy Desert Rat 500 in that blush colorway. And speaking of Kanye West and speaking of the Adidas Yeezy line, did anybody get through? Did anybody catch a W yesterday on what was the craziness of Yeezy Day? Both Yeezy Supply and Adidas.com just kept restocking after restock, dropping crazy heat. I know me and Nay were really only going after a few pair of sneakers. Nyasia really wants a pair of the 500 coincidentally, which I have on. So we're probably going to have to go for the light bone for her that are coming out in the future. I was able to get through in the Supermoon Yellow. They only had a size 13 left. Clearly way too big for Nay, way too big for myself. But the only sneaker that I really felt like I needed to add, if you're an avid viewer of this channel, you see all the Yeezys that I have. Mainly the ones they dropped I already had. There was a few pairs that dropped that I don't have, but I don't have them not because I couldn't get them, mainly because I didn't want them. So the only pair I really wanted, which is a grail to me, it's my favorite Yeezy of all time, is the brown Yeezy 750. They dropped them. They were out in seconds. I'm not exactly sure what the stock was like, what sizes they actually dropped, but I wasn't able to get them. I tried. I failed. I sat in the waiting room for an hour for Salt 500s. And here's what's crazy, is when the Salt 500 came out, I got myself a pair. They're right up there. You guys seen the review. Nay didn't want them, so I was actually able to procure a pair in her size as well the day of the drop, but she didn't want them. I inevitably told the people at the store that I didn't need them. You know, they could sell them to the next person on the raffle list. However, it was done. I think it was first come, first serve, whatever. Fast forward a few months, she's interested in the 500s now. I sit in a waiting room for an hour for a sneaker that barely sold out. I think it took quite a few days over at Lapstone Hammer where I got my pair for them to sell out. Even the Salt 700s, which I don't even think really sold out. I think there's still some stores who have stock. So I sat in a waiting room for them too, and I couldn't get through, which I just think was kind of crazy. I'm not exactly sure what the stock numbers were. I know that Suplexed leaked what they believe to be the correct stock numbers before the drop happened, and I don't know how true that was, and I guess we'll never really know. But back to this Ozweego. I've seen other reviews on different colorways. You know, your boy does his research. I don't just jump in, dive in, start doing reviews on a sneaker without getting some back knowledge. So I see a lot of people are saying that this is a cheaper alternative to a Yeezy. I agree to a certain extent. I feel like if you want that, bold statement that a Yeezy makes, I think this is a good move. But I feel like if you're after a Yeezy, there has been plenty of opportunity to get one at this time. The cream whites have restocked now at, I'm sure, 1 billion times. I'm pretty sure my grandmom has a pair of cream whites and she ain't in the sneakers. So I feel like as far as the shelling out the actual United States currency, then yeah, these are a cheaper alternative. But and that's comparing them at retail, it's all relative, because I think if you were able to get a cream white at this point for retail, you were able to get quite a few models at retail. So if you don't want to spend the retail price, then yes, this is definitely a cheaper alternative. But I don't think we should be looking at this as like a constellation prize or missing on a Yeezy. Because if you went after a Yeezy and failed, this isn't really the cheaper alternative. This is just a constellation prize. That being said, the Ozweego is a dope sneaker in its own right. I cannot wait to get these on feet. Like I said, they are definitely a bold sneaker, and I've said countless times on here, I go back and forth. Your boy either puts on a very loud outfit with some very muted, subtle, not trying to shine, not trying to steal the shine from the outfit type sneaker. And then sometimes I go with an all black fit and rock a hella loud sneaker. This would fall under the category of hella loud sneaker. I think it was a perfect time to drop right around summer. The price tag on these is only $110. So obviously what you're missing in Boost, you do make up in the pocket. They aren't that expensive. $110 for a very dope sneaker in 2019 is, almost unheard of. Like I said, I can't wait to break these out on feet. And I want to give sizing recommendations and I can't do that with a sneaker I've never had on foot before. So we're going to do something a little different. We've done it a few times now on the channel. We're going to do the on foot, and then I'm going to come back with my initial reactions to being on foot, what I do, what I recommend for sizing, so on and so forth. Before we get out of here and get to the on foot, I just do want to touch on the materials real quick. As I already stated, is a predominantly mesh upper with hints of leather and other synthetic materials. We have the neoprene on the collar, you have that clear piping. But the leather quality around the eyelets, I think, is very nicely done. I think it was a nice touch to a predominantly mesh sneaker, throwing that leather on there to give it a little bit more of a classier look than just a traditional mesh runner. It's also part of the reason why I think the Alexander Wang influence is definitely there. If you go look, I believe it was the last installment of Alexander Wang Adidas, there was the soccer shoes, and I feel like the lacing system and the leather and the design of the leather around the lacing system is very similar to the Alexander Wang. I think actually just looking at the sneaker like this, it kind of shares the same overall design of the Alexander Wang Adidas soccer silhouette. That being said, we're going to go bang out this on foot. I'm going to come back, give you guys my initial reaction to the on foot portion, and like I said, $110 for a very dope sneaker in 2019 is something everybody should be jumping on. As always, the link is down in the description. I know these are sitting on lapstonehammer.com and in store if these pique anybody's interest. Like I said, banging out the on foot, coming back with the initial review of the on foot and my initial reaction on how these feel. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Enjoy that on foot. Holla.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed.
Back from this on foot, and the first thing I want to touch on, the comfort is definitely there. These are a super dope, super durable, super breathable sneaker. The one thing I do want to touch on is I do recommend maybe coming down a half size than your traditional size. The Adidas is so weird. Nike, I am an 8.5 in everything. Nike running, Nike lifestyle, Jordan brand, everything under that Nike parent umbrella, I am an 8.5. Adidas, my size range with Adidas is just so crazy. I have Yeezys that are at 8. I have Yeezys that are 8.5. In the Yeezy 700, I like to go 8.5, 9. In the Yeezy 350 V2, I like to go 8.5. In the 500s, I feel like 8.5 is a little big. It is just so weird, so crazy. And then back to just regular Adidas models, I have a ton that are an 8. And then I have some that are 8.5. It just, it just really varies with Adidas. But what I would say is I have a wide foot. And, with the mesh and everything on the sneaker, I don't know if it's just the way the sneaker was built, if it was the intention of the sneaker, but I do recommend maybe going a half size down. These are pretty much sitting almost everywhere. I seen on StockX they actually do have a resale value of $140 in my size 8.5, which is kind of crazy that the market is up $30 when I'm pretty sure you can walk in almost any sneaker boutique and cop these right now. If you are interested in getting these and you do have the opportunity to try them on, I would recommend it. I know a lot of people, kind of, stick their nose up at that, which is crazy. In 2019, people that don't want to try on sneakers. I myself never really do either. If it's a sneaker silhouette or a sneaker brand I don't traditionally buy, I try to. These, I made the mistake of not doing it. Did the same thing with the Ghost Racer Nike. I probably should have went up a half size. Here I sat and ran about how Nike, I'm to my traditional size of an 8.5, and the Ghost Racer I probably should have went up to a 9. But like I said, it's the only thing I really found to be a little bit off with the sneaker. And that's just me. I actually like to have a tight sneaker. I'm weird like that. I don't like my sneaker to even have like the little bit of looseness. I don't like when I walk and I feel like my heel's creeping out of the sneaker. So I'm a strange bird when it comes to sizing. But try them on if you can. Like I said, I would just maybe recommend sizing a half size down. So I probably should have went with an 8. And, you live and learn. I already had them on. I'm not going to go back and be that scumbag that tries exchanging a pair of sneakers that I already wore. That's it, guys. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed Yeezy Day. I hope it didn't drive you halfway as insane as it drove me. But I'm going to get out there. Me and Nay enjoy the rest of this weekend. I will be back next week with some more videos. But until then, I'm Richie Ruckus. Peace!
Richie Ruckus.